never know what Source is going to want me to speak about, but I understand Source wants me to talk about clearing the vessel, preparation for ascension. And Source wants me to speak just a little bit about ascension. Source says that over the history of humankind, there have been many beings that came to visit Earth from elsewhere and to teach us, to help us remember who we really are, to lift us up and help us keep our eyes on the light of God. And Source says that in the past there have been people who were incarnated in a human body that were very, very extraordinary beings. Saint Germain, who has served in many different incarnations, and others. But each time that those beings ascended, they did so through their upper chakras, allowing their spirits to rise and leave their physical bodies on planet Earth to return to her. As I'm sure all of you know, that many of those people, that their bodies would remain sweet-smelling and upright in a beautiful, beautiful condition for quite some time after their spirits left their body. Well, we are at a very special time on Earth, and that is where we are in the moments preceding a different kind of ascension. Our beloved planet Earth is in the process of ascension. Her contract with Source, her agreement, is that at a certain point in time, she would be free to leave third dimensional unreality, as I call it affectionately, and ascend into fifth dimensional reality with a capital R. And in that place, all of her toxicities will be removed. She will be made whole. And over the course of the millennium, we humans have given her a great deal of toxicity. Not only physical toxicity, but tremendous amounts of emotional and mental toxicity because of the way that we have learned to think and conduct ourselves emotionally as we experienced separation from Source. The Source has said for all of my life that there is no judgment, there's only unconditional love. And that many of us chose to have the experience of separation so we could fully and deeply and completely feel what it feels like to be separated from ourselves, from the God Source within each one of us. And that we now have an opportunity, if we choose, to turn that around. And for all the humans who choose to do that, to clear their vessel in the same way that Earth is clearing hers, they too will be ascending with her at the moment that that occurs. And what Source has shown me is a very, how can I put this into words? It is looking at this beautiful planet that we live on, just as if I'm far out in space and I'm able to see the water and the land masses and her atmosphere, and I'm able to see the precious beings that we all are, no matter how unclean our vessels are. In Source's eyes, we are still incredibly precious. We need to become precious in our own eyes. But Source shows me that at the moment that this occurs, it is as if there is this whoosh of light, and that the humans who have kept their eyes on God, who have cleared their vessel, whether they have cleared it fully by the time that this moment occurs, Source says is pretty irrelevant. Source says what matters is showing up. Source says it doesn't matter how you work on clearing it. Source says, just work on it. If you choose to do it through meditation, do it. If you choose to do it through prayer, do it. If you choose to do it through sound healing, do it. However you are guided by Source to do that work, it is incredibly important to do it. We are in, as I understand it, the final approach to Ascension. I don't know what that means in terms of a particular date. I don't know if it's going to be in 2011. I don't know if it's going to be December 21st, 2012. You can bet that I have asked Source. And Source laughs. Source says, you know how I feel about time. And Source says, you also know how I feel about trust. And I said, yes. Would you like to say a little bit more? And Source says, yes, I want you to trust. I want you to show up. I want you to heal yourselves. And I want you to be ready when you least expect it for me to take you home. And Source has said, and I'll be curious to find out if this is what actually occurs. But Source says, for the first time, we will be ascending with Earth in our physical bodies, and that our physical bodies, for those who do choose to ascend, and it is a choice, our physical bodies will be detoxed and restored to our ideal archetype, which we chose before we incarnated into these bodies that we're in. Isn't that absolutely amazing? So Source says some of the things that it would be helpful for us to be aware of is forgiveness. To look for all the places within each of us where we harbor lack of forgiveness, and forgive. Do whatever it takes to find compassion for not only yourself, but for the other folks that were involved with you in the situation, and forgive. Source also says that it's important to clear the past lives that we have had that cause us to think that we are not microchips of God, that cause us to not understand that in every moment God tastes food through us. God looks out at the world through our eyes. God smells through our noses. God experiences life on planet Earth through each one of us. And Source says, I wish you could lighten up. That's actually what it's all about. Could you lighten up? Could you figure out, find the ways that you are guided to that will help you do that? Help you release all of the ties that bind. And those ties include family inheritances, things that we watched our mother and fathers do, things that came to us genetically through the bloodline. Source says, remember who you are. You are microchips of God. You do know how to heal these things. It's in your DNA. It's in your genetic makeup. It is inside every beat of your heart, inside the water that comprises at least 70% of your body, inside every drop of blood that flows through your veins. Remember.